Well, Hunter Biden had to stand up in the courtroom and hear the verdict. Guilty. 3 federal felonies. His father, the president, is visiting Rehoboth, Delaware, where Hunter is tonight. And I don't begrudge Mr. Biden that. I would do the same thing if it were my son. There were some questionable things said by President Biden. I'll get into that. But all in all, you want to stand by your family members if you can. So Hunter Biden will be sentenced September, October. He's not going to prison. He'll get a slap on the wrist, probably community service, some probation, that kind of thing. Exactly what Donald Trump will most likely receive as well. Now, this is not unexpected. I know people were speculating about Delaware juries and all that, but look, Hunter Biden's guilty. Everybody knew it. His own words said it. They couldn't let him off. His lawyers played the substance abuse excuse, as I wrote in the message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com this morning, but it absolutely didn't work. Look, compassionate people do feel sorry for drug and alcoholics, drug addicts, but you cannot excuse them hurting other people because they're addicted, have a disease. You can't excuse it. That's ridiculous. That's anarchy. Hunter Biden actually got his girlfriend addicted to crack cocaine. He gave her the substance time after time, and she became an addict. Hunter Biden has a 5-year-old daughter now, he's sober, okay, that he doesn't see according to the daughter's mother. Totally ignores the little girl. In lieu of that, the Biden family, oh, we're so proud of Hunter, the man he is today. Well, the man he is today, and there's been no pushback on this, totally ignores his 5-year-old daughter. That's worse than the gun felonies, in my opinion. Okay, the gun thing is just stupid. You know, he deserves to pay a price for it, to send a message, but 5-year-old girl, 5-year-old daughter, and you don't do anything for her? No. Now, I'm not proud of that. I'd never be proud of that, and I wouldn't say anything. In fact, but the Biden family is a different entity. They go about life in a far different way than traditional Americans do. So it's wrong to judge Joe and Hunter Biden as far as the long run is concerned. I don't know what's in their hearts. All I know is what I can see. And what I can see is not good. Maybe extenuating circumstances, but the jury, as I said no, he did it. He's going to pay a price. Now, President Biden, one more thing, says, well, we're going to appeal. Appeal what? Don't you understand, Mr. President, that this whole thing is embarrassing to your family? Your son should have pleaded this out and avoided that trial. You said, I did it. I'll take my punishment. What is this? What's the matter with you people? I mean, just on a embarrassment. You know, why go through the appeal? Appeal what? He did it. Does it matter? No. But you can't have drug addicts lying on applications for guns. You just can't. You're the big gun guy, aren't you, Mr. President? Oh, we don't want any guns. Well, your son was a crack addict and he lied on a form, so you should say, okay, got what he deserved. Now, Hunter Biden is the first presidential child ever to be convicted of a crime in this country while his father was in office, or her father. Okay. I think Alice Roosevelt, Teddy's daughter, was close, but it was low-level stuff, as you'll read in Confronting the Presidents. Alice was lively, let's just put it that way. Should Hunter Biden be sentenced to prison, he could get 17 years. I don't believe he will be, but if he is, he'll be pardoned by his father. Either way, after the vote, whether the Democrats win or lose, the president will pardon Hunter. That's my prediction. Okay. And the reason is Hunter Biden doesn't want to take that stand or have the prosecution lay out his relationship to his father. That's why Hunter Biden's pleading, given the Alford plea. A columnist for the New York Post named Miranda Devine is not a fan of Biden Harris. I think that's clear by her writing. But she backs up a lot of what she says, which is what all I need. I don't care who you're a fan of, as long as you back it up. Okay? She has a new book out, The Big Guy: How a President and His Son Sold Out America. She joins us now from New York City. So, for people who don't know, the New York Post is vilified for putting the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop in the paper and saying they were true, when you had 51 national security experts saying it was Russian disinformation, on and on. And we all know the story. And the New York Post was born out to be the truth teller. The others should be very embarrassed. They're not, but they should be, because they were misleading. We all know that Biden, on numerous occasions, enabled his son to make millions of dollars by doing nothing. Hunter Biden didn't provide any service at all. All of this is documented. What I want to talk to you about is, where does it go now? So it doesn't seem to me that either Hunter or Joe Biden are going to be held accountable for any of this. What say you?
Well, Hunter is having some measure of accountability, Bill, and thanks for having me on too, because if it hadn't been for those IRS whistleblowers, he would not have had to plead guilty, as he just did in California, for these tax felonies, and he'll get jail time, I'm told, and then his father will pardon him. And he would not have been charged in Delaware with gun crimes and been convicted there. So, look, that is certainly surprising to him, because he's gotten away with blue murder his entire life. His father has always protected him.
All right, let me stop you, though. Let me push back on this. He's getting away with it because, number one, all right, he may get a fine in the tax beef, but his buddy out in L.A. will probably pay that, because he's been paying all his bills up to now. So Hunter is walking away with $10 million, and his uncle James, same thing, a lot of money. Okay. Number two, as you rightly pointed out, Joe Biden will pardon his son. So he's not going to spend any jail time. He's not going to be anything. He just go back to doing what he does, whatever that may be. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're right. But I mean, at least he's been hauled before a court of law and has been proven to be, a wrongdoer and a liar. And Joe Biden, in court, the Hunter Biden laptop was brandished. I watched it be walk across the room with the prosecutor and be shown to the jury and shown to the FBI witness, who verified that that was what it was. And Hunter Biden's lawyers have been pretending that that's not his laptop, or that it's Russian disinformation and so on. And I think really the most important thing in terms of accountability is not really the Bidens. I mean, corrupt politicians have been around for a long time, and America survives them. I think the real problem is the cabal of CIA, FBI, State Department, IRS, Department of Justice, people who have protected Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
But they're all going to get away with it. Some of them have got sanctioned. But look, when you look at this in totality, all right, from top to bottom, a vice president of the United States sold his influence to enrich his son and brother. That's what happened. Now, you're right.
China.
It happened to China, to Russia, remember the mayor of Moscow, to Ukraine, on and on. Now, in researching my book, Confronting the Presidents, that has happened before. All right, U.S. Grant, he had his brother amassing a fortune by stealing from Native Americans. It happened in many administrations. Warren Harding, my God, all right? But it looks like nothing is going to happen to Joe Biden. If you watch The View and you didn't know anything about American politics today, you would have thought this guy was Abraham Lincoln when he walked out on that stage today. It was crazy.
But don't you think that Joe Biden's image has been quite savagely tarnished? because his son left that laptop in that laptop repair
By
shop.
some, but certainly not
Half the
by the
country.
corporate media. Not by the
No.
corporate media. Now,
True, but half the country knows the truth about Joe Biden,
okay,
that he's not honest
I'll,
Joe from Scranton. He's not the poorest man in Congress. I
I'll
think that's
see that half the country understands that. Now, here's the most important question I'm going to ask you. There were two committees run by Republicans that looked deeply into Vice President Biden selling his influence. They could not come up with the cliche smoking gun. They couldn't do it. They came up with circumstantial evidence all day long. I believe that Biden sold his influence. You believe he sold his influence, but they couldn't nail him. Why?
Because I think that it was a mistake for them to go looking for a money trail to Joe Biden. You know, you can be guilty of bribery if your family member takes the money. And there's no doubt that Joe Biden's extended family got money from China and Russia and all those countries, and that they disguised it. That's well established. And I think it was a strategic error for James Comer and Jordan and the rest of them to think that they were going to find some smoking gun. Joe Biden's not stupid. He has been doing this for 50 years. He's not going to leave a money trail for people to find. It's
But there
enough
was a trail, and that is the title of your book, The Big Guy. We have to set aside 10% for the big guy. This is what Hunter Biden wrote. Did you advance that story any?
Yeah, it was what Hunter Biden wrote, but that deal never came through. It never came to fruition. It fell apart with the Chinese. And, you know, Joe Biden denies that he received any money, and various witnesses have appeared and said that, no, he didn't get that 10%. But you know, there were a few checks that went to Joe Biden, $250,000 after one deal, $250,000 after another from his brother Jim, but they were portrayed as loan repayments, and there's no evidence to say that they weren't. But again, Joe Biden benefits when he doesn't have to pay tuition to Ivy League colleges for his sons, Hunter and Beau, because Hunter was paying it through the grace and favor payments that he got from Joe Biden's donors. Joe Biden benefits when he buys a DuPont mansion at a cheap price. He benefits when he gets land and he gets this house built at cut price. You know, he lives like the Great Gatsby, and he has no discernible income to fund that lifestyle. And so you can only surmise from the amount of money he makes, and the IRS investigators did try, who became whistleblowers, did try to follow the money trail and the evidence trail where it led to Joe Biden, but they were obstructed again by this cover-up by the Department of Justice that made it hands-off. You could not ask about Joe
there's
Biden.
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And sadly, this has happened more than a few times in the vice president precincts.
To watch the full episodes of the No Spin News, visit BillO'Reilly.com and sign up to become a premium or concierge member. That's BillO'Reilly.com. Sign up and start watching today.